Got it.
And let me make you a host. But everybody that's on here now, just wanted to introduce you guys to Stevie. She is an agent out of Jacksonville. I've been following her on Instagram, I'd say for almost a couple years now, and
Oh,
ultimate girl crush. So
I love it.
I know Ashton, she's trying to jump onto, I'm about to text her the link, but she follows you as well.
Awesome.
I just love all of your stuff, all that you do, and just thought just ask you to do a class on it, and she has graciously said she would. So here she is. Let me make you a host. Let me figure out how to do this. We've got people joining. Make host. Yes. Okay, there we go.
Okay, I am the host now, so I'm going to share my screen. Would like to record grant access. Okay, sorry, it's asking me to do all this stuff now. Allow the apps below. Just click this. Open system preferences, security. Sorry, it's
stuff. Sorry.
it's asking me to click the lock to make changes. I don't know if it's going to let me share my screen. Yeah, it's asking me to go into my Zoom and give permission, but it's not really allowing me. Let's see. Calendar, whiteboard. Darn.
I thought it would be pretty.
It usually is. Usually it's, I share the screen, it's no problem. Allow the apps below to record the content of your screen even while using other apps. And it won't let me click on it for some reason. Well, I can just talk because I can see the screen.
Okay.
We'll just have to write the notes real fast.
There we go. We can always, if you want to email it to us afterwards too, we can email it out.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
So,
okay, yeah. I'll send this over to you, but I can still talk through it. So basically this presentation, I've been using it for years, and what we're going to talk about is how to have a captivating bio, because that is your first impression, because you want to be building your business on Instagram, right? So when you're trying to engage with people and getting followers, the bio is your first impression. We're also going to talk about how to build meaningful relationships on the platform. I'm sorry, I'm letting people in. So building meaningful relationships on the platform, how to have potential buyers and sellers reaching out to you, how to get more followers, and how to utilize Instagram stories. So this is how I have built my business. I'm a little bit about me. I've been in the business for 6 years, top producing agent with Keller Williams, top 500 in Northeast Florida. I built my business on social media and networking. It's just me. I'm projected to sell 20 million plus in 2021, and I don't pay any money for ads. And literally the one thing that I am so consistent with is Instagram and social media in general. I have a course, it's called Level Up on Instagram, where I share everything in great detail about how I got this off the ground and from the beginning to what I'm doing now. And then what I have coming soon is a new agent course, and then a course on budget and savings, because that seems to be something that a lot of people had mentioned on how to really handle your finances with your business, but then also budgeting and the savings aspect of it. So let's just get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is optimizing your bio. This is an old screenshot of my Instagram account. But the number one question that I always get asked is the whole business versus personal. How many Instagram pages do I need to have? And in my opinion, just having one is great. I can hardly manage the one. So I can't imagine having 2 separate accounts. It's just way too much. And a lot of people say to me, well, I don't want to share like personal things. Well, the point of showing up on Instagram is you want people to know, like, and trust you, and so that they will be able to reach out to you and ask you to help them buy or sell. So you do have to share some personal things, your hobbies, your interests, all the behind the scenes that we're going to get into. So in my opinion, having just one Instagram account is all you need. And then people ask if it should be set up as a business account or if it should be set up as a personal account. And in my opinion, having it set up as the business, it has a lot of benefits. So you're capable of boosting ads. It's interesting to see the data and the insights, being able to look at all of the analytics is pretty cool. And the way I have mine set up though now is it's set up as a creator account, which essentially is the same thing as the business account. You get all the analytics, but I was able to add the music into my Instagram story. So if you're not even sure what your account is set up as right now, or you want to change it to a creator account, you're just going to go to your Instagram, your actual page, and click on the three lines on the top right hand corner. You'll go to settings and then click on account, and you can switch your account type at the bottom. So the actual bio part of your page is so important, and we want to have good keywords in your profile. So how people can find you, list your market. There's so many times I've looked at Instagram profiles and it doesn't even list what area they service. So we want to make sure if there's an area that you specialize in or that you want to specialize in, let's put that in your bio section. So list your city, your market, what are you known for? What niche, is your niche? Let's list that in the keywords. So this screenshot here is actually an older screenshot of my Instagram profile. So I had on there HETV, that I was on there. I was voted #3 realtor in Jacksonville on social media. And then I have pinned on there my location of Jacksonville, Florida. And so now what I have on there is my YouTube, because that's something that I'm working on consistently and something that I'm wanting to promote. And then I'm also wanting to promote my Instagram course. So I have that in my bio. So, it takes you a second to think about what is it that you want to showcase. And I think it's really cool to have emojis in there to help you stand out, getting straight to the point. Use whatever you can to leverage any opportunities you have, even if it's like you got rookie in the office, or for, this past month in July, you got top sales. Add that to your Instagram profile. Top producer here in Northeast Florida, getting certified in new construction communities is really popular, and it doesn't cost you any money to do those things. So a lot of people like to list that. I used to. I would promote that I was a NACATI certified agent in my email signature, in this bio. I was promoting that everywhere before I ever even had sold a house in there. It's not that I'm saying like, oh, I'm a top producer in NACATI, but I had this certification and was well educated on the neighborhood. So any awards, anything you can feature, make sure you have contact information on there. I have my website, which will direct you to all my contact information. Right now I have because you can only have one website in your bio. And right now I have a link tree because I just have so many things that I would want to link. So if you are similar, Linktree is free. I believe they have a paid version, but it's free. And I have so many links on here. Level Up on Instagram takes you right to my course, my Amazon page, search Jacksonville Homes. I have my YouTube channel, my Etsy shop, and an interview I was on. Let's connect on LinkedIn, write me a review. I have my promo codes on there. So just really educating yourself and taking advantage of this platform, you're able to showcase so many things. Okay. So as far as the photo, I'm going to look at these questions after this one little section about our bio, but uploading an on-brand friendly photo is really important. So this older photo that I had, it's kind of it's our well-known Jacksonville skyline, and I wanted to showcase that, but now it's a close-up shot of me, but just having a really clear, well-lit, lifestyle, friendly, modern, stylish photo of you showcasing your vibe, your team, your personality. I'm not huge on having your logo as the main photo because we want people to see you, and not having a dated headshot as well. So being on brand, I think it's really important to use the same photo across all platforms. So although you have this photo here on Instagram, but put on the same photo on your LinkedIn, your email signature, Instagram, set up your highlights, use the same color palettes, a branded hashtag to encourage tagging and sharing. So my Instagram handle is Sold by Stevie, but I'm hashtagging it all the time, and people are always hashtagging it, tagging me. I'm able to reshare it, and that just really helps with your brand. So that's basically all I wanted to mention about the bio. So let me look. Unfortunately, I can't share my screen. For some reason, it's not allowing me, but I'm going to send Kimberly a copy of my presentation so you guys you'll be able to get it. But take notes while you're here. We tried, but Instagram wasn't cooperating. She's going to send us, oh, okay, sorry. Now I'm reading that. Okay, cool. So if no one has any more questions about the bio section, let's move on to Instagram stories, which is my personal favorite. I love showing up on Instagram stories. I'm on there every single day. And the beauty of stories is that there's no expectation for them to be polished. No, people know like this isn't scripted. This isn't supposed to be perfect. So that's what I love about it. So doing snapshots, selfies, and bite-sized photos that show off your brand in the real world can be put together in no time with stories. There's a lot of really, really cool features and great ways to get engagement with the polls, all the different voting, the questions that you have. And I have a ton of content ideas for you. So I'll just list them off since you guys can't see them. But doing virtual open house previews was something that I did a lot. I used to do 3 open houses a weekend, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. This was when I had time and didn't have business. It was when I first started. So, and I didn't want to spend money on leads. So I was doing virtual open house, or I was doing open houses, and I would go during the week and I would preview them and I would video them and I would showcase them on these platforms. And even though, you know, we all know that we don't get paid to do open houses, right? I mean, if you guys are, I need to know your secret, but we don't get paid for open houses. So that this is just such a great way for us to showcase that. But when other people who aren't in real estate and they see you like all throughout the week, busting your butt to educate yourself and do all these things I'm about to share with you, they're going to be like, wow, she or he, they're doing amazing. And so I would go during the week, I would showcase these properties that I was going to be doing an open house at. I do a lot of then and now new construction previews. So new construction is really popular here. I don't know if it is where you guys are, but going to all these different neighborhoods and educating myself on them, and then also others. People like to see brand new homes, interviewing the site agent, asking questions. People love to give their opinion. So when you're like, do you like these countertops, or which layout do you like better, which floor plan? Those are always a lot of fun and just such a great way to get engagement. You can also preview resale, scheduling in a property that's vacant with the listing agent or a home that's staged and asking if you can go there. I mean, I was doing that essentially when I got into Instagram just to educate myself on the market. I would just go and schedule showings at different places. I didn't realize the value that it was when I first started of previewing it on Instagram, because 6 years ago, Instagram to me, I had just made it. It had just started. I didn't realize that realtors were promoting their businesses on there. I was just showing people like what I was trying to do to get started in this business. And that was these things: previewing my open houses, the new construction previews, and the resale previews. So a couple more ideas. Post photos of your outings, events, dinners, any trainings that you're doing. We do so much as a real estate agent that we don't get paid for. So let's showcase those things. Especially when you first start, There's so many trainings. So let's showcase your sphere, because that's where you want to get the referrals, that you're educating yourself on what you're doing, the real estate market. And especially right now, people are so interested to know. So when they ask you what's going on in the real estate market, you as the professional most definitely better have an answer. So educating yourself it's so critical in this business, and showcase that, the certifications that you get, showcase all of this on your Instagram story. So photos of your life as it's happening. Show people how things work behind the scenes. I feel like people love the behind the scenes the most, which it might sound weird. Like sometimes when I get on stories and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this and I got this appointment and then I'm gonna go here. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so, like, it seems unnatural for me to do this, but people love that. And then they engage back. And then now you're starting a conversation organically. It's great. But you can do giveaways on Instagram stories, buyer seller tips. Once you hit 10,000 followers, you can have the swipe up feature to allow people to click and go to another link. You can do polls, questions, this or that, showcase just listed, just sold, coming soon. You can post your reels on there, market stats, like I just gave you guys like 20 content ideas for Instagram stories. But let me look over here. I don't see any questions yet.
Yeah, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
How do you determine whether you're going to put something on a story or if it needs its own post?
I feel like these random day in the life videos that I'm doing, I don't want to showcase those things on my feed. I want to be more strategic about those. So currently on my Instagram page, I know I've been posting, reels lately, because videos is where it's at. And obviously I'm sure we've all heard of reels, and that's what Instagram's rewarding you for. So I really got into it in the beginning, and then I honestly kind of fell out. Like, I'm not perfect either. And recently I was like, you know what? I got to pick it back up. We got to be consistent with this. So I recently posted some reels, but yeah, more so like photos. Like, these branded photos are what gets the most engagement. Me posting these photos of houses hardly gets any likes, but me in front of the house, or me sharing market stats or buyer seller tips or things to do around town gets the most engagement. So I'm about posting those on the feed, but not random videos of like, oh, I'm doing this or that. That's a really good question. I do everything that does get posted in the feed, I do automatically share to my Instagram story, because someone might see my Instagram story, but they're not seeing my feed or my story. So I just kind of want to intertwine those and try to get people to look at both. So the next thing we're going to talk about is consistency. So there's so many ways to generate business. And the main thing about it is they all work if you're consistent. Like, cold calling works, door knocking works, paying for ads works, but only if you're consistent with it, right? I decided, I first got started, I was so consistent with social media and seeing the benefits of it. And I have stayed unbelievably consistent with it. I am on there every day. So just mentioning consistency is key. I get asked a lot about apps. If you struggle with getting content out there, I don't have kids. So I feel like if you have kids and you're in this business, like that's tough. So I think you probably want a little bit more planning in your schedule. So if you have like those couple hours to yourself and you want to plan all your content then, so that during the week when things are crazy and chaotic and you can't think about social media, that you utilize these apps that you can plug in all of your content, and then it'll shoot out for you during the week, whatever day or time that you have scheduled. So one that I had used years ago, and I used very consistently for about a year or two, and that was called Hootsuite, Hootsuite. I loved Hootsuite. It was great. And I was all about pushing out as much content as possible at that time, because I was really trying to build up my followers. So I had 3 posts going out a day. So I really needed that planning app, because I couldn't be working all day and, putting out 3 posts a day. So that was really beneficial for me. But then now I've kind of like really built up this engagement and this community, and I'm not trying to put out 3 posts a day. So to me, I don't feel like these apps are valuable for me. So it just depends kind of where you're at and if you see the value. But Buffer is another one that I've heard of. And I think Lately is another one. I could be wrong, but Hootsuite is the one that I had experience with and thought was great. So I know you can't see this particular slide right now, but it basically breaks down video and the stats and how critical video is, and video is so in. Everyone needs to be doing it. And I know if you're struggling mentally with it, like, let me know if that's something you need help with and you just can't do it or don't feel confident enough. Let me know, because I have some tips for that. But what was so interesting about this particular slide that I have here is it's old. I've had this slide for a couple of years, and it says on there, in 2021, video will account for over 80% of the world's internet traffic, which is so true. Like TikTok is only videos. Instagram is rewarding you for doing videos. People want to see videos. They don't want to read these super long captions that you have. They'd rather see, especially with people's attention spans, they want to see a super short, sweet video of what it is that you have to say. So I just wanted to mention that. And I have some video content ideas for you. So like I said earlier, behind the scenes. So what gets the most views on my YouTube are these day in the life of a realtor videos that I do, which I thought were so silly at first. But I was like, oh my gosh, these are getting incredible views. And I'm fine with realtors seeing the behind the scenes, because that's a huge part of my business. Not only am I attracting buyers and sellers to my Instagram page, reaching out to me constantly to help them, but realtor referrals are a huge, huge part of my business. And every single month, I always have at least one realtor referral. On Tuesday or tomorrow, I'm showing a $2 million cash buyer properties from a lead on Instagram. And it was so funny. She actually reached out and she was like, hey, I sent you an Instagram message. You probably weren't accepting a lead from me. And I was like, what? I was like, this is how I get all my leads. And she was like, yeah, I've got this buyer, $2 million cash. And so don't just subject yourself to just potential buyers and sellers, cater to realtors as well. At least that's what I've done. And I mean, the benefits are amazing. So I'm attracting realtors too with the behind the scenes and the day in the life videos that I'm putting out. So love the behind the scenes. And I have a couple more video content ideas for you, featuring other business owners in your area. So that way you can showcase them, showcase that you're out in the community, but also build that relationship with that business owner, whether or not it's someone you already know. But it's even more valuable if it's someone that you don't know and you can show up. I always just want to come from a place of service and providing value and building relationships and networking. And this is a great way for you to come to them and say, hey, I would love to interview you and learn more about your business. I would love to video it, and I want to put it on my Instagram, my YouTube, my Facebook, my LinkedIn. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And that's the start of a beautiful relationship that you can have over the years with this person and help each other's businesses out. Just think, if you interviewed one business owner a week, and they're short and sweet, make it only 5 to 10 minutes and use that to leverage that relationship with that business owner, but also to get more social media content out for you. So highlight local events. So on my weekly email, I always, I sporadically have been mentioning like things that are going on in Jacksonville this coming weekend, and people love that. And I'll mention in my Instagram story, people aren't out and about hearing about all these things that are going on. So it's just another resource for them and another way for them to engage with you. Video content ideas, doing market updates. I love Coffee and Contracts, which I believe you use, Kimberly, and they have a ton of video scripts on there that you can use. And even their captions, some of their captions are a little lengthy, like 5 things about this. And you could just make a short, sweet video out of that, and you're not even having to think of the content. So I'm always showcasing Coffee and Contracts. And basically what I'll do is I'll take that verbiage and I put it into an app called BigVu, BIGVU. It's a teleprompter app. So I plug this into my phone and I use my little travel ring light that I have. And I mean, a lot of them I just do here in my office, or I take it out to a house or a neighborhood or wherever, and I'll pop up that thing, takes 2 seconds. I already have the content in the app, and I'll rip off this video that's like 2-3 minutes. And I just think that gets so much more attention than you just making a post out of that content. So I really love that big VU teleprompter app. Video content ideas. Let's see. So top 3 places to market your home. And honestly, look online for content ideas. I did this morning because I feel like I've done really, really good with Instagram and I'm getting continuous referrals from it. But now my goal is to leverage my YouTube. And I know if I'm consistent with it, that the business will show just like Instagram has. And so I went on today and I know of another realtor in a different market who does really well. And I literally was making notes here of her topics. She was talking about all these different things in her city. So just do your own research, see what other people are doing that you like and content that you would watch, and recreate it, make it your own, cater it to your market area. So customer testimonials are amazing. I have that in bold on here because people want to see what it's like working with you. So even if someone sent me, I know I shared last week, 2 closings I had, they sent me really nice text messages. I just screenshot it and I put it up on my Instagram story. Like, people want to see social proof. And also having that customer do a video for you, having them do a review for you. Yeah, I just think customer testimonials are great. When I'm posting photos at closing day, sometimes I feel weird and I'm like, do they want a photo? Do they not? I'm like, no, we're getting a photo. They want it. I want to plug it on my social media. I want people to see them happy and excited, and that working with me was a great experience. Okay, so let me scroll over, see if you have any questions. Okay, so yeah, I gave a ton of video content ideas. And then as far as particular time of day to post, so I am all about, just honestly, in everything in life, is I don't like to overanalyze. So although Instagram has these great analytics and has all this data, I don't want to overanalyze the data in certain days and certain times. I know that if I'm consistent and I get that content out, that that's just what works best for me. So if it's in the morning and I have it ready and I'm ready to shoot it, done. If it's at night, I have it ready, let's go. Because I just, I might not do it later. I like to just post and move on. So I hope that answers that. Okay, so live video tips. I think doing lives can be nerve-wracking, and gosh, my first live videos were so bad. And it shows up on my Facebook memories every single year, and I love seeing it because it's a video of me in the back of a house. For some reason, I wasn't in the front or inside. I was in the backyard. And this was when selfie sticks were a thing. So I'm in the backyard with a selfie stick, and it was so windy. So you would definitely think that I would be inside. I have a lot of hair, so my hair was just blown around like crazy. And then with the selfie stick, doing lives, people are hopping on. You can see their name, and then you can also see any comments. When you have a selfie stick, it's so far, I couldn't read. So I'm pulling the selfie stick in closer, and then my phone's here. So I look ridiculous trying to read all this stuff. It was horrible. But to me, I look back at that video and I'm like, you know what? I kept showing up and I kept improving and getting better and critiquing myself and learning. I don't think people just show up. I mean, most of the time they don't just show up on video and they're like, a star. They're ready to rock and roll. I just feel like it does take practice, figuring out lighting, figuring out what you're comfortable with. So if you suck in the beginning, just think about that horrible selfie stick story, because I have have been there. And a lot of videos that pop up of me in the beginning are so bad. But it makes myself just like realize like, hey, that's where I came from and I got a lot better with it. So some live video tips is I feel like this has really helped me to kind of focus on these points so that I don't get too distracted. And that is saying hello to people who hop on the live, interacting with the viewers as they sign on, asking, can you hear me? Can you see me? Like, you don't want to do a whole live and no one can see you or hear you. Know ahead of time about what you're going to talk about, cut straight to the point, start with the most interesting point that you have. Just be you, be authentic, be open, and always end with a call to action. Okay, we only have a couple more slides. So with call to actions, I love to use this everywhere in my weekly email, in a caption, in a video, because you want people to engage with you. So, and everyone has an opinion. So ask some questions, encourage sharing hashtags and regrams, doing giveaways. I've built a lot of my following with doing giveaways like, hey, make sure that you're following me and this other person. And usually I partner up with a company and they're the one paying for the giveaway. And so I'm reaping that benefit of not having to pay for that gift. And they promote it on their business page so that my handle is getting promoted to them as well. And so it's just a win-win. Giveaways is so helpful for you to get more followers and to build relationships with more people. More call to actions, this or that, the questions like, which one do you like better, A, B, C, or D? Emoji responses. So just when you're trying to come up with caption or video, just think that towards the end, always think of, okay, what is my call to action going to be? Hashtagging. I'm curious to know if you guys are hashtagging because this is the gold, and where I always ask people who find me on social media, I'm like, how did you find me? And a lot of times they're like, oh, I follow this hashtag or I looked up this hashtag. So a really popular one recently was, because we do a lot of new construction and I'm always hashtagging the builders. So if someone is interested in a particular builder and they're on Instagram, they're going to look up that hashtag and they're going to see me who's constantly hashtagging them, and it shows credibility. They're like, oh, what's this girl doing? Then they go over to my page and they see my Instagram stories. They start asking me questions and I'm starting to build that know, like, and trust factor. So a lot of times people find me from hashtagging also with the builders, but certain communities that I specialize in. And even if you haven't done business in there, you can still hashtag that community. So when someone's interested, that they're going to see your post on there. Also, like what was one said that they were following, like moving to Jax or Jax military. We're a military town. So just really kind of taking the time to do the research and cater it towards what that post is. If you're out in a particular community, even if I just, the most popular one here is called Nocatee. It's the #1 master plan community in the state. And even when I just type in hashtag Nocatee, all these other suggestions pop up that I would have never thought of. And they're the most popular ones with the word Nocatee in it. So I'm like, okay, not only am I going to hashtag Nocatee, but I'm going to hashtag all these other ones that are relevant to that. So I always like to do a couple different things, 3 options: be generic, micro local, and branded. So with being generic, hashtag real estate, hashtag realtor, hashtag realtor life, realtors on Instagram, because I'm wanting to attract realtors to me as well. Micro local, so I want to attract people locally: Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Nocatee, that builder, whatever area I want to specialize in. Plus our area has like niche hashtags, like one is the county that we're in, one is I love Jax, one is our area code, stuff to do in Jax, only in Jax. So even if you just type in your city, see what people are using and start utilizing those hashtags. And the last one is branded. What is your brand? Mine's hashtag sold by Stevie, hashtag Keller Williams. And so something to keep in mind is that social media, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's the same thing with everything, with your cold calls, open houses, networking events, all those things. You're not going to just see overnight success. You have to show up and be consistent with whatever it is that however you decide to generate business. So let's see. Okay. One thing is I always just like to make my presence more human. So when I kind of got into a phase for a little while where I just felt like I had to show up, I had to be so professional, and I did not showcase hardly anything that I was doing on the side because honestly, I was just so focused on real estate. But I realized I'm like, okay, I need to start showing my personality. I need to start showing things that I'm doing because that's where you get the genuine engagement. Showing up and making your presence more human. I've also like people that you want to engage. So if someone is putting an emoji on a comment, they send you emoji or they say any kind of comment to you on a caption or in a DM, you need to be not just liking it. Let's talk back to them. Let's engage with them. This is how you build meaningful relationships, is starting with that, but then how to even take it to another level is to take that relationship offline. So actually meeting up and being like, hey girl, do you want to get together and grab a cup of coffee? Let's talk. Maybe they're a business owner, see how we could help each other. Or if there's an event going on or something fun around town, inviting each other. That's just, everyone's so busy. And I feel like when you're showcasing yourself as a busy person and then reaching out to somebody, wanting to get to know them better, I just feel like it really goes a long way. And something that has made that process a little bit easier, because doing one-on-one meetups and stuff can be time consuming, although I feel like you do need to make it a priority, is to do events. So I've really done very well with events. Maybe that's not a thing that's going on in your area right now, but with events that I was hosting, I would be inviting everybody. It builds such credibility when you are the host. So even though these people might not come, but that's just a great way to have an organic conversation with somebody, talking to them about the event and the networking potential that they might get from it. And also following up with them, seeing if they'll be at the event. But then this is such a great way to host for 2 hours, builds that credibility, but then you also get all these people in the room at the same time. So it's a little bit less time consuming than having to do these little meetups all the time. But one of my goals is I always try to meet up with somebody, like a coffee meeting. I have at least one a week. And I put that on my planner. That's something I'm doing on Mondays is I'm like, who am I meeting up this week? Because it's like, I can do all these social media posts and stuff, but you do have to take the relationship offline to really build it as well. So I just found a lot of benefit with that. Lastly, I know I mentioned Coffee and Contracts. I love them. You can check out their website. They give you all these content ideas and video scripts and real ideas. And that's pretty much it that I have to mention today. Unless anyone has any particular questions? Let's see. What are some events you have hosted? So gosh, I've done so many different ones. One was one at, it's called Canine Social. It was like a dog place. So they had like a huge outdoor dog area with drinks and food. And then they had like an indoor section with a ton of tables. So we did an event that way. And that way it was like outdoors, so people social distance, people felt more comfortable. But one I did at a really nice model home and just asked the site agent, hey, I would love to host an event here. And they love that. It's free marketing for them. You can come during maybe one of their slower times, and you're only doing these events for what, 2-3 hours. It's not like an all day thing. Gosh, I don't know why I can't think of, I did a woman's lunch and I invited all these other business owners, realtors came. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but I've done a lot of just meetup and then at certain restaurants. And then I usually always have people sponsor these events. So lenders, title companies, home inspectors. So I'm literally not paying a dollar. So not only are they paying for the food, the drinks, the venue, they're paying for the giveaways. I'm just doing all the marketing and spending my time because I really do a lot. Like I'm doing video promotions. I am following up with everybody. You know, people, I always do like the Facebook events, and everyone always says that they're going, right? Well, I follow up with each person. And I'm like, hey, I can't wait to see you next week. And then like the day before the event, I'm like, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Are you bringing anybody or not? Don't worry. And just like, it's another way to honestly engage with people and build that sphere too, but to also keep them accountable for coming to the event.
Do you talk about real estate at the event? How do you kind of tie in your branding
Yeah.
into the event?
So I'm not like talking about real estate. It's usually either a customer appreciation event, or it's a networking event. So we're all talking about each other's businesses. So it just comes up naturally. You go
Gotcha.
up to somebody just like in the real life and you're like, oh, what do you do for work? Or how is things going with your job? And then they're naturally going to ask you back, and it's a great way for you to talk about it. And then the same thing with the customer appreciation events. It's just another way to get in front of your past clients so that you can continue to build that relationship with them and receive those referrals. So like people that I get from Instagram, buyers and sellers, I mean, those leads just they have a great experience with me, and they have a whole sphere of people that I do not know. And they tell them about the experience that they had. So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
You said you had some tips for being confident.
Oh, yes.
There, can you share some of those with us?
Yeah. So honestly, I get compliments now like, oh, it seems like you're so natural and it's so easy for you. And I'm like, I've definitely gotten better, but it's still, I'm not like, oh, I'm no nerves or I'm totally fine. I think that's just always going to be there. But in order to help yourself feel confident, for me anyways, was me showing up and getting better at it. Me keep practicing, like me just showing up one time here or there so sporadically. I'm not practicing. And so it was the same thing. Like when I first did my first live or my first public speaking event, I was good on video, but then it was kind of like, I felt like I started at square one. I was like, why am I so nervous? Why am I so bad at this? And honestly, the more that I did it, the more confident I felt and more comfortable, and I wasn't as nervous. So and I have all the insecurities as anyone else, like the way I look, the way I sound. I did get Invisalign, but I was so nervous about my teeth. I was like, oh my gosh, my teeth. And I was like, probably nobody ever even noticed. And my friends were like, yeah, your teeth were fine. I'm like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And there was one mastermind that we did, and I had asked the women what it was that like was hindering them, and each woman said what it was, and they were all the most ridiculous things. One was this woman, her main first language was Spanish and English was her second language, and so she has like a little bit of an accent, and I was like, I wish I spoke Spanish. I wish I had a little accent. Like I'm just like everyone else here in Florida. Like I just was like, that's so amazing. And you should leverage that. You can cater to all these people who speak Spanish and I can't. And it was just always like one girl she wanted to lose weight. She had just had a baby, and someone just told me that the other day too on video. So it's like we all have these little things. I'm sure everyone's thinking of like what it is. Like they aren't experienced enough, or they don't have good lighting, or they need some other equipment, or they don't know what to say. Like those are all just the lamest excuses, and I just think are so silly. When it comes to equipment, I mean, I've always just recorded on my phone until this year. So I've never had like anything fancy. And one thing that I had learned, and I totally believe, is there was someone on YouTube that she shared a lot of behind the scenes things. And then she was like, okay, once I hit a certain number of subscribers, like I'm going to get my hair professionally done for these videos. There's so many views, and I'm going to start recording in a studio. And then she did that and all her views went down. Because like people were like, we don't want to see you all perfect and done up and in a studio. And she was like, yeah, I need to go back to like me and how I am naturally and not having to have my hair and makeup perfectly done. And I'm like, yeah, there's so much value with that. Like no one's expecting you to show up and be perfect. You know, I don't want to see someone like that. I'm like, I want to see the real raw you. Like just like when I do a post that's like vulnerable and I'm like, oh my God, is this too much? Am I sharing too much? Those are like the best posts. I get so much engagement. I'm able to have like real conversations with people, and that's what you want to shoot for. So hopefully this was helpful. I think we were just shooting for 30 minutes, right? And now we're at 45.
We'll take whatever time you have. So
Yeah. Well, if no one else has any questions, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram, Sold by Stevie. And then I also have that course, Level Up on Instagram. The link is in my bio. And really, I just created it because I love doing these types of things, but you only have 45 minutes with me. And there's just so much that I could go over with you, but that would be an all day, 2-day event. So I basically broke down these videos that you can watch anytime. And I'm just breaking down everything from the beginning to the end into more detail. And then there's like PDFs and bonuses. You get my buyer, seller guide, marketing plan, all those things that you can customize on Canva. So yeah, and then working on all the other things. But
well,
I
thank
hope
you.
this is fun.
Thank you so much for taking your time. I know.
Of course.
Yeah, it was just awesome to have you share with us your wisdom.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally made it happen and we had some great people show up.
Yes. So awesome.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you
Well,
so
enjoy the
much.
rest of your day, and I hope to see your Instagram videos.
Thanks, Stevie.
All right, bye.
Bye.